Yo guys, Big Dog Beef. So, I was going to put the scope on today. Excuse me, my AIM Sports long eye relief, but somebody posted on the last video that I did about installing the UTG tri-rail that they did the same thing on their Mosin, but there was a problem because the rail was not level. And as I'm looking at it now, I can see that it is definitely not level with the barrel. So I wanted to do a quick test. Again, no vice, I know, I'm working on it. So what I got here is just a small level. In fact, I'm going to turn this around because it's got a little groove right there. And I've pretty much got it leveled about now. It's a little bit off. It's not too bad. Hang on a second, I'm going to experiment with something. Alright, we'll leave that on. Experimenting with some new lighting. Okay, so we have that there, and it's just about level. I mean, again, you can kind of see it there. It's a little bit high, but it's within the line, so that's okay. Now let's take our level here, and we'll stick that right on top of the tri-rail. That is way off. I don't know if you can see that or not. Oops, jeez. See how bad that is? Okay, so the person that left me the comment, and I apologize, I forgot who left it, and I didn't write it down before I started working on this video, told me that they used some brass washers to basically level it out. So that's what we're going to end up doing today. However, I'm not going to film that because I'm sure you're just not going to want to see it. Basically, I'm going to take the rail off, and I'm going to load up some washers as some spacers back underneath over here, and that hopefully will get us all evened up. So when you guys come back, we'll double check it. If it's all level, we'll go ahead and install the scope. And we're back. Okay, I'm sure you're looking at this going, that didn't look like it changed a whole lot. Well, it really didn't, to be perfectly honest with you. I've actually spent like the last 10-20 minutes trying to get this all evened up and leveled out. So I was trying a bunch of different things. I actually went underneath and did it down here on the plate. I was trying up here underneath the rail. And here's what ended up working, by the way. Just to prove, okay? Hopefully you guys can see the bubble. Okay, it's in between the lines. And right there, it's almost exactly the same. Let me see if this helps. So you can see the bubble there. And it doesn't work that way too well. And hopefully you can see the bubble there. Anyway, so we're pretty much evened up at this point. What I ended up doing, and it took one M5 washer. That's it. Underneath the back over here, that's it. I just made sure everything was snugged down. I think when I originally did this, I might not have snugged down the front enough because there's a little notch right here that the front has to go into. So I may not have actually had that lined up properly the first time. But again, as you can see, when it compares to the front, that I'll call that level because it does match pretty much where we are with the barrel. Okay, so give me 2 seconds and we will start the scope installation. Okay, for those of you who have never seen a scope installation, here it is. It's pretty standard. We're putting this up here. This is what's called a long eye relief because normally a scope would get mounted back here, but in order to do that on a Mosin, you need to drill and tap the receiver, and you have to buy a special mount, and you most likely will have to change out your bolt with a different handle. You need to get like your standard, almost like bolt action handle like you guys would see on a more modern sporting rifle. Okay, real quick, this is the AIM Sports 2 to 7 by 32 scope. 2 to 7 means it goes from 2 power up to 7 power, and 32 is the millimeters of the lens. Okay, comes with the scope rings, which is kind of nice. Now some people are like, oh well, why did you get the scope rings? Why didn't you can buy better scope rings than what it comes with? You know what, to start out and for a $50 scope, I really have no problem with that. And unfortunately I got to move you guys over here just a tad. There we go. You know what, that's probably not going to work too well. I got, again, playing with lighting. The scope rings, real simple. You got to remove the tops of them here. Alright, so I'll just take these off. Actually, I could probably just do one of them. So we need to determine exactly where we're going to put the scope. For right now, I'm going to move it kind of up here a little bit. So I need, so we're just going to, this is some trial and error here really. We're going to slip this on, let's call this one at 4. Okay, and this is where Picatinny rails that actually have numbers on them come in handy. So if I mount that there, okay, it looks like the next one will have to be at about 11. So let's just try that at 11. I forgot to unscrew this. Good part again, I can just unscrew those there. So, I don't know. That looks about right, don't you think? It might actually interfere with the bolt a little bit. Let me find out. Let's put the bolt back in real quick. Okay. So I took the bolt out for today's demonstration because I didn't want all the YouTube safety Nazis having a hissy fit. Okay, it does not interfere with bolt operation. That's a good thing. The scope looks pretty low down. I like that. Basically what we're going to do is it looks like it's touching down there. You know what? Let's take these off completely. This might be interfering with what I'm doing here. And for those of you that have mounted scopes before and you're watching this, I don't want to hear it. Okay, just for giggles, I'm actually going to slide each of these up 1 notch. So I'm taking the front to the 3, and I'm taking the rear to the 10. The big thing is going to come when I actually, oh, that's not going to do any good. Okay. When I get this out to the range to see if the eye relief is in the right spot. Now, with these rings right where they are, there's some good wiggle room. You know, you can go forward or back a little bit. So, you know, that certainly is a big bonus. That was the problem. Okay. I was a little concerned back here because it looked like the piece was touching the bottom of the rail. And I think what it was that I think the top piece was in the way. So now I need, you know what, I put my level away and I shouldn't have done that. Because now, alright, I am actually going to do this from a direction where you most likely can't see. Okay. That looks good, like right there. Alright, so what I was doing was I was just looking down from the barrel end to see if this was straight, because again, I don't have a vise, and since I don't have a vise, the rifle is leaning just a tad. Okay, so now, yeah, like I said, there are probably better scope rings out there, and I understand that. You know, There's a lot of scopes when you go buy them, they don't come with rings just for that sheer reason, is that people want to buy their own rings because they can adjust the height, you know, higher, lower, whatever is going to work for them and their cheek weld. So, since I've never used a real scope like this, the closest I have was my NC Star Tactical Mark III that I use on my 22 AR-22, my 1522. Since that's the closest I have, this is my first real life, real world scope. So, there it is. So my Mosin can now be a sniper rifle. So let's actually back you guys out. You can kind of get the full effect. And the only problem now is that I don't have a scoped rifle case. The case that I have for the Mosin that I bought, I didn't buy the scoped version. I don't know what I was thinking. Anyway, real quick, by the way. It comes with the lens covers. So let's go ahead and throw that back on real fast. It comes with a cleaning cloth. And because it is an illuminated reticle, it comes with an extra battery. So, you know, certainly doesn't hurt to have extra batteries. That being said, there you go, guys. The Mosin, for the most part, is done. The only thing that is not installed right now is the bipod. And, you know, I guess I'll do another video on that. This one got long enough. You don't need to see me try and install a bipod. Again, I don't even know if the bipod works. We're going to find out. But anyway, that's it. I appreciate you guys watching. As always, I will see you next time.